G'day, Birdmanpete with you one more time to talk about the Turnigy 4206. This is a postscript. When I first had problem with one of these, I instantly sent off for another. They only cost $20 and even on my budget that seemed eminently affordable. But then I discovered that I could fix up the dud one I had, and I went through the whole set and fixed them all up. And wrote to Hobby King and explained the problems I'd had and how I'd sorted it out, and forgot all about it. Did the YouTube item, you know the rest. But today, a new one turned up as ordered. And a couple of things have changed. I'm going to show you quite a few of the things that have changed, but start off on this little collection of wires. One of these wires, that one, has a little black label on it, indicating that somebody has checked it for something, who knows what. And then I noticed that there were lots of other things that were different about the new motor. There weren't no blue crud. Now, does this mean that Hobby King responded to my correspondence? No, I don't think you could say that for a moment, because it all happened too fast. But they might have had thoughts about this dating back for some while. But I notice that they're still running the same photographs in their product display section. So maybe the message hasn't got all the way through the system. However, with a different motor, which I'm going to show you in a moment, I wanted to show you how you can test an outrunner motor. Anytime you have one of these outrunner motors, you can check it using the 3 wires here and one of the other wonderful Hobby King products, the Turnigy multimeter. Now, I'm just going to short out the contacts. I've set this to 2k ohms, 20k ohms, beg pardon, 20k ohms resistance. And now I've plugged it in and we have an indicated very low resistance. And that's what we're going to need to check the coils on my new brushless motor. So here we are in Peter's hastily improvised laboratory. The meter is set to 20 kilo ohms and checking the resistance between A and B. There is no resistance between A and B. Checking between B and C. There is no resistance between B and C, and now we're checking between C and A, and no resistance. So there we have an absolutely equal resistance level between the 3 sets of coils. This motor is probably going to work perfectly. There was a time when we'd have laughingly called this a smoke test. We have the battery, which is going to drive the ESC, the receiver, which is being driven by a UBEC, the ESC itself, 25 amps, the transmitter with the throttle set high. Turn the transmitter on, put the power to the ESC and wait for the chime. Well, we waited for a long time. The chime is very quiet. Lowered the throttle, waited again for a chime. Again, it was very quiet. And then we tried the throttle. Opening the throttle. And there it goes. Smooth as silk. The most obvious difference, and probably the least important, is the rebadging. This is clearly a different batch. 530 kV, it tells you. 4206, it does not tell you. Multi-rotor, yes, different print, same idea. But when you look at the original motor, you see that they've chosen a different print face and much bigger brushless motor, 530 kV. Here's probably the most significant difference. The motor has been checked and equipped with a check tag. No, this is definitely more significant. When you look closely at this, there is no hint of excess adhesive. It doesn't matter whether we look at it from this way round or this way round, it's a much cleaner production. It's quite hard to see the difference, but the anodizing has changed. The motor on the right has a silver grey hue, and the motor on the left, the original, is silver. Note also the different batch of copper. Insignificant, but just a difference in the batches. And now we're getting really picky. You notice that there is a dimple above the letter R of rotor. There were several dimples on all of the casings in the original series, and in the later model, that's the one on the right, very, very tiny blemishes in the cut of the casting. So what did you make of all of that? It's really good to see that they've come to terms with the adhesive for the magnets. For the rest of the changes, well, hair-splitting stuff of no significance, with a possible exception of the strangely quiet chime tone when the ESC is engaged. I'd be very interested to see how that works out when you've got the mixture of the 3 early motors and this one. That's going to be interesting. Now, more importantly, however, I hope you followed me through that business of testing the resistance of the 3 coils in the system. If you've got a motor that doesn't seem to start up right, the first place to check is that resistance, because that could very well expose some shortcoming of yours in the soldering department or theirs in the manufacture of the coils. I wish you the best of luck with all of that. Have a good one.